I know the internet's been buzzing about this whole, you could say beef, kafuckle. Oh, I didn't mean to say it like that. Beef, discord between Russell Simmons and his ex-wife, Kimora Lee Simmons, and daughters Ming Lee and Aoki Lee. So according to People magazine, it reads, Russell Simmons blasted by ex Kimora Lee Simmons and daughters. Enough is enough. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid, Kimora Lee Simmons wrote via Instagram on Monday. Just one day after Father's Day, Russell Simmons appeared to be at the center of a massive family feud. On Monday, the Def Jam Recordings executive shared an Instagram story that seemed to target his ex-wife, Kimora Lee Simmons. Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children and start asking mothers why he had to fight at all, the post read. Simmons, 48, took her own Instagram story to share details behind the family's tensions, where he lobbied serious allegations against the father of her two children, Ming Lee, 23, and Aoki Lee, 20. I'm so sorry to have to say this, she wrote, but this man has been threatening my kids' lives. I'm hearing so much more now. We won't be bullied, threatened, or afraid. Leave my kids alone, she continued. The narrative of attacking the only caregiver, the only parent in the home with the kids, the mom, and the kids for one's own shortcomings and embarrassment is dead, dead, dead. The model also accused Russell of being abusive to the women in his life. The same abusive-ish, she wrote. This is how you maneuver with the women all around you. Your threats, your lies, your intimidation, maneuvers, and the tactics are sad. Stop it, please. Your own flesh and blood. Enough is enough. Now, in parentheses, it reads, 18 women have previously accused Simmons of sexual misconduct. He denies all the accusations. A rep for Kimora Lee Simmons did not immediately reply to people's requests for comments. Aoki, who just graduated from Harvard, backed her mom, posting a video of Russell appearing to yell at her over FaceTime to her Instagram page. She captioned it, "This is not someone who will accept help. This is just one screen recording. Sorry, I don't always remember to press record when he calls my friends, my boyfriend, anyone to get a chance to threaten and curse and go crazy." Ooh. She also shared screenshots of text messages between her and her father to her Instagram story, where she said he harassed her boyfriend and friends if she blocked him or took some space. So one of them, it reads Daddy. And Aoki Lee Simmons posted it. And it reads, it gave me a panic attack. Don't make me regret introducing him to you. So this is what she's saying. And it says, I'm going to block you. I don't want to talk about it. Certainly don't text my boyfriend because I respectfully took some space. I tried not to block you because what if it's an emergency and you are my dad? So she wrote, if I block him or some space, he'd harass my boyfriend, my friends, literally college students, children. In another thread posted online by Aoki, text seemingly from Russell, although a name is not shown, implies Aoki's mother has stolen money and the love of my kids as she promised. Aoki vehemently defended her mom in the message, writing, I'll never speak to you until you die. Don't ever say that again. So she wrote, this is another text, it reads, I'm out here praying for you and hoping everything goes well. And you call my mother a piece of shit. And he texts back, neutral my ass. I don't even appear in your media. Your mother has stolen my money and the love of my kids as she promised. She actually is, whatever. And she texts, she did not steal it. You lost it. And he texts back, she is a piece of shit. A piece of shit. You understand? You lost it with your actions. So, in a separate lengthy message to her father, Aoki wrote, every time I spoke to you, you would yell and scream about a legal situation that I can't even respond to because I am not involved. I'm your child, not your lawyer, not your ex-wife, any of it. I can't do nothing. You yell at me like it's my fault. And so this is a text that she wrote. I'm going to read it later on. In another Instagram story, Aoki touched on the possibility of mental illness. Some of us do think he's mentally ill or experiencing something like dementia. She wrote over a tearful photo of herself. He really acts like he hates and does not know his children frequently. Ooh. Aoki described how Russell used to be the best dad ever. Prior to the media issues, he was really the best dad ever and a great co-parent. He and my mom were best friends, she wrote. We all defended him against anything. And then he suddenly turned on anyone who will let him lash out. It's really just terrifying to watch, she wrote. A rep for Russell Simmons did not immediately reply to people's requests for comments. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to read this text that Aoki Lee Simmons wrote. And I can empathize with her on this. Dad, I stopped talking to you because you were giving me panic attacks to the point I was placed on emergency medication every time we spoke. I cannot have a relationship with you until that stops. No one stops me from talking to you. My health does. I have to put that first. Every time I spoke to you, you would yell and scream about a legal situation that I can't even respond to because I am not involved. I'm your child, not your lawyer, your ex-wife, any of it. I can do nothing. Yet you yell at me like it's my fault. You were putting so much anger and rage in me every phone call, cursing, screaming, and God knows what else. I'm sorry, but I cannot be the target of that. It's not fair. It got to the point I could not hear your voice without having an anxiety attack. You have to at least respect. I'm putting my health and my well-being first. And it's funny because I've had situations like that. I take medication for anxiety. And it's really good to have it because it prevents anxiety attacks from happening when you have to deal with intense situations of any kind. And it's interesting because Aoki has that. She has something where she's taking medication, but hers is from a totally different situation because everyone's panic attacks are unique. I'm going to be honest with you about that. But I find it interesting that she's a Leo like myself. And we Leos are prone to panic attacks because we're ruled by the heart. So it's a very delicate situation when you have the panic attacks. I empathize with that because I take medication twice a day for mine. And when you know someone's triggers and you know that can cause them to go in the emergency room, you gotta be a downright fool and you gotta be an evil, disrespectful bastard. Yes, I said it. Now I'm gonna go in on Russell. Russell created this when he fled to Bali over that whole situation involving the women that was accusing him for rape, for those RNs, for the RAPE. And I'm going to be honest with you, I believe it. I believe it. I believe every bit of it. I believe that happened. Because if you innocent, why you going to run? Why you going to flee? Another thing, too, is that he treats his daughter, particularly Aoki, like crap. When she was in Greece, because she mentioned this, when she was in Greece doing like her study abroad, he only gave her $100 some odd studying abroad. Now, she says she's broke. Kimora says he's broke. And I believe it. Because he had to pay out all them lawsuits to those women that accused him so that he wouldn't go to jail. But still, you couldn't give her $10K. She's in Greece. I've had more money when I'm going to the States as a kid on different trips. And you only gave her like a couple of hundred, which could have been like 300 or 400 tops. You a trash father for that. And I know y'all going to say, well, Kimora was married to a white man. And we know that he has his situation with the fraud. And yes, they supposedly are looking at Kimora. But supposedly, I'm not going to even say supposedly because I don't really know about that. I don't talk about stuff I don't know. Because that's gossiping. I'm not going to make stuff up and add on to put 20 on 10. I don't do that. But what I will say is that the stepfather was not the father. He didn't have custody of. The custody was between Kimora and Russell. Okay? That's where the custody was. So, it was supposed to be under him and her, not the stepfather. But it would have been nice for the stepfather to help out. But it didn't happen like that. And I just feel like for a person like her to graduate Harvard at 20 and dealing with all of that, with a degree in classics and government, that's really phenomenal. That's really phenomenal. And And I also have to say before in closing that they're adults now. They don't need Russell anymore. But another thing, too, I have to say is that you think that because somebody has a lot of money, Russell's supposed to be worth $340 million. You see it now that it's just money on paper. A lot of these people who are rich, they struggle just like the rest of us. They just live in a bigger house. They have access to cars, property, and so forth. But the cash amount, a lot of times, is low. And with that being said, I just hope that these young girls just get away from him. Because he's not a good person at all. He's not good. He's not a good person at all. To do what he did to those women alone, I wouldn't have nothing to do with him at all. I wouldn't have nothing to do with him at all. And with that being said, I'm signing out. Thank you for listening and tuning in. And have a wonderful day.